This is the second half of Sip and Discusses. Black women are loved. Black women are celebrated. We are loved and we are protected. And we are here with our special guest, Serena Joy. Thank you for coming here. So, explain your whole process as far as being a spoken word artist and a motivational speaker. What made you decide this is, because your album Promise Life is something that I feel like every young adult, and I say young adult because I feel like they are the ones that struggle the most right now with acceptance, loving themselves, following their dreams. And that's like, I'm an older woman and I am benefiting from the album.
Older woman thing.
I am benefiting from the album, but I really believe that every young person, like if I had children, that would be on their playlist. So what made you pick that path?
So the album is called Promise Life because I believe that God put promise on all our lives and that we all have purpose. So I would be remiss if I did not at least try to do what was in my heart and what I believe to be my purpose. And that's basically why I decided, okay, I'm going to be a poet, even though I was like, I don't know what that means. But like, anybody can write a poem, so are you really going to be a poet, Serena? Like, what's that mean? But no, I thought I'm really passionate about you, so you saying that you feel like this is something that youth need, what I want to do is uplift the youth always. So when I'm writing, I'm partially have them in mind, but also like everything on the album was also for me. You know, like it was for me. It was like me saying, you know, number one, I got everything I need to succeed. Number one, girl, you got a dream that's meant for you. Don't let anybody tell you that that's not meant for you. And then when you thought, because I knew I wanted to be a motivational speaker when I was when I graduated high school. I knew that. I said that. And then I went to college and I was like, well, who would want to listen to you? What do you have to say? And who's going to pay you to talk? Good question, Serena. Go find something else. Okay, don't make no sense. So what did make sense was you need to go be a teacher. That's you're passionate about youth. You like to be animated in front of kids? Well, I got a job for you. You can go do it. No, that was not meant for me. I was a substitute teacher. That was hard. Shout out to the teachers. For real. No, that's
I'm a home teacher right now, so shout out to
shout out to homeschool.
Shout out to all the parents that's home virtually schooling kids.
And now you know how to teach them school. And now you know how to teach them school. So Serena, you were a substitute teacher.
Yes. And I knew, I was going to get my master's, an accelerated master's program, and I knew when I was there, I was like, how could I tell kids that they could be anything they want to be and me not try to be what I have in my heart? Sorry, No, but, so that really led me to like pursuing, and I'm still pursuing, like I'm nowhere near where I believe I'm supposed to be, right? But I'm gonna get there. And that's just like with the albums, like don't forget that promise. And we need reminders daily.
Yes,
you know, you have to constantly remind yourself that this is meant for me. That this, whatever's in your heart, it's not just there just for play. Like it's not there for you to sit there and be like, well, I really feel like I should, and then just sit there. You know, like because I can do that. I can sit there and feel like I just need to do one more thing before I can actually do that. And that's not how it works.
Listen, I interviewed Serena for my Queen Motivation podcast, and she tells me this funny story about your mom because it reminded of me. We both had praying moms, and you know when you have a praying mom, you go to her and you say, "Well, what did God tell you?"
The story is when I was in this master's program. It's an accelerated program, right? And I'm meeting new people, and I'm there, but I'm like, I'm telling myself I don't belong here. Like, I don't feel right. I'm like, I don't know what to do, so I'm praying, and I don't hear nothing. you know who he probably talking to, because he know my ears ain't really key to hear his voice. Yeah, I said, let me call my mama. So I called my mom. I said, Mom, you know, would you be upset if I quit? She said, no, you grown. You gonna do what you need to do, but you make sure you pay your bills. I said, that ain't Jesus. That ain't God. He didn't talk to you this morning. You didn't talk to him. That ain't right. But thank you, Mom. Thank you for being supportive. Okay, we're gonna hang up. I cried. I'm not gonna lie, but that was really like I went to her, and that's not who I need to talk to.
What Jesus said through her.
Right. I was like, y'all got a connection I haven't reached yet. You've been living with him a lot longer than me out here. You know, like I know we both came from it, but you think you in there with him? Right? Yeah. I'm like, Lord, you know, I was just fresh out of college too. I've been doing it. I wasn't living my best. I mean, some people might be calling that your best life, but God probably was like, that ain't your best life. All right. So I had to come back and be like, Mom, you've been talking to him more regularly. But she,
word for me.
Right. But no, she just told me make sure I can take care of myself because she was done with that.
Yeah.
And
Mama got live too.
So that is basically how I came, you know, and I would say the amazing part of that story to me is, you know, I was around people who I had just met and they were really bad. I had just performed one poem for them, right? And it's a poem I had performed before, and they're like, oh my gosh, where is that at? And I was like, in my head. I can't memorize that. You know? They're like, but no, where can I find it? I was like, I don't know. They were like, would you put that on YouTube? Yeah, I would. Thank you. I should. Yes, I will. And you know, like, I was like, I was getting a little confident. I said, oh, people like this. This is a gift. And then that's when I had a moment where I couldn't even get up in the morning and go to the school and teach, because it was summer school at the time, and I felt sick. I felt so sick, but it was a mental sick, like, this is not it. If you stay here, you're going to be pursuing something that's not for you. You're going to end up more dead. Like, woo. Like, no. And so I didn't tell anybody what I was quitting except for one girl. I told her because we were going to room together. And then one day, the day I was quitting, I had a class where we had a, what do you call those things? Like, you know, you do a presentation. Now I got two other people up here with me at the presentation. I can't tell you, it's about Baltimore, so I'm in Baltimore. And I don't know what I said, but I guess people who had a good time during my presentation. Because when I got done, they were standing up. I ain't never been in school when people stand up for my presentation. They clapping, and I'm like, thank God. Yes, they said, Serena, oh my gosh, where can I hear you speak again? I was like, it was just the presentation.
I felt like weeks from God.
It was. And then you have to understand, right after that girl said it, another girl says, well, you know, if teaching doesn't work out for you, you can be a motivational speaker. Well, don't you know I'm quitting because that's kind of what I was doing. That's all I do. I left that room and literally walked out one door into the next one. I was like, I gotta quit. I started crying. I don't want to give up on the kids, but this ain't working for neither one of us. You know? And so here I am, still trying to figure it out. But you know, I'm thankful for the journey, and I'm thankful for, you know, the process. For me, it's partially about getting closer to God and really recognizing my gifts and honing in on them and not being afraid to share them. You know, I've been rapping. Like, what? I never wanted to be a rapper. I said, that's so cliche. Like, who wants to hear me rap? You know how tiny my voice sounds sometimes? But it's deep. You heard the poetry.
Yeah.
So you know who knows. Y'all be careful.
And you speak about that on the album. Forgive me, I forget the song, but there's a point where you talk about that one of the songs where you living out, someone is waiting for you to fulfill your dream. Like, someone is literally waiting because it's a chain reaction. It's a thing. And not to say names, I know some people hate that, but like, imagine if Jay-Z gave up on his dream.
How many other people wouldn't be here today if Jay-Z didn't start rapping?
That is, and you have to, no matter how small or little you think your dream is in your mind, you don't know how big it is in God's whole plan. Because that one dream has the power
To change everything.
to change everything. That is why I love that album so much. Because it's a constant reminder to me that when things don't turn out the way that I envisioned it, just do what I asked you to do. Just be obedient to what I asked you to do. Stop worrying about the attendance. Stop worrying. I'll figure out a way every month for you to pay your bills, don't I? Stop worrying about what you spent. Stop worrying about how many hours. Be obedient to what I asked you to do because I have a plan. I have a plan. So also tonight is we are celebrating Black women. And when we started this whole journey of this episode and discussing Black women are loved, Black women are celebrated, we started last month. We had no idea that the outcome with Breonna Taylor was going to be what it has become. And I feel like tonight also was to be a night of let's express ourselves in a safe place. Because we as Black people, we need to talk. We need to get it out. That is what Sip and Discuss is about. Yes, we like to have fun, we like to have spicy conversations, but we also, healing comes with talking. It's a part of therapy. We need to come together as people and get it out. How did it make you feel? Cry, yell, do what you have to do, and we have to take care of each other. So tonight, I want to ask you if you want to share your thoughts. How does it make you feel? What do you want to express?
For me personally, what I would say is very interesting, and for me, what's been very interesting with all the deaths of Black people, especially with police brutality, I've had a hard time really taking the time out to acknowledge them. And I don't want to sound like ignorant, but I literally would see a post and be like, I don't know how to put this in a way that doesn't sound like rude, but I don't have the time right now to go through that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to take the time out to think right now because it's traumatic. And you know, with everything that's going on, you're like, it keeps happening. Why do I have to keep seeing it? So for me, I have to make sure I get into a space where I'm ready to experience that hurt. And so I wrote a poem about something more so with Ahmaud Auburn, because I was like, I wish I could tell you that I cried the day I found out, but I didn't. I wish I could tell you that I redid a hashtag, but I didn't. I wish I could tell you that I reposted his face over and over again, but I didn't because I didn't have the energy to do so. I didn't have that in me. And I felt bad because I was like, I'm not doing my part. I'm not acknowledging this Black man or this Black woman. I'm not doing my part, but I didn't feel like that was my part at that time.
Dupree Lee, if you hear this, because Dupree Lee, he's a comedian, he talks about it. Like, we're exhausted, we're traumatized, we're hurt. And he has a lot of Caucasian friends, and now they're on the front lines fighting, and they were out there rioting, and he said, yes, go ahead, because I don't have the energy anymore. I don't have, I can't. And I feel you on that also because I don't repost a lot of stuff.
We talk about that.
George,
why we don't repost.
George Floyd is actually my cousin. And that is something that we chose not to share publicly because we weren't in a relationship with him. But I refuse to watch the video because once you see something, you cannot unsee see it. And it was like, part of me is like, are you turning your back on your people? No, I am protecting myself from the trauma. I didn't cry for Breonna Taylor until these past couple days because I realized, and I will say that not to sound harsh, but when Charles Barkley came out with his comment, and it enraged me and it hurt me because I thought of Kenneth Walker and how he has to live the rest of his life with that trauma. He has to live with the rest of his life that the fact that he did what any man would do, black, white, Asian, Latino, any man would do. If an unarmed, like an unclothed officer just would bombard into your house, shooting, and you are legally allowed to own that firearm, Charles Barkley would have did that fucking shit. And you have the nerve to say, let us not forget that he forgot. He shot an officer. So recently, it was just like, I felt bad, but recently, it tore me up. And so I understand what you're saying. And it's like, how, when we just keep reliving this, and this is trauma. This is trauma. This is hurt. This is mental abuse. This is real. So I get exactly where you're coming from when you say that. Like, I don't have.
They like to say in the media, like, oh, it's not that serious, it's still somebody just got murdered. But they like to talk about when people go to the military, they come home and they have post-traumatic stress syndrome. But what they don't realize is people in the hood have had post-traumatic stress syndrome their whole life. We've witnessed people get murdered, we've witnessed raids, this is things that we grew up with. And guess what? We don't have no services for us. We don't have the funds. First of all, it's demonizing the black community to even seek out therapy. If you think that there's something wrong with you, you're automatically labeled as crazy, and probably based on where you lived at, you'll probably only be put on some meds. It probably won't even be some real treatment, some real therapy going on. They'll put you on some meds and that'll be the end of it. You live out the rest of your life in a haze and not really understand what the fuck is going on. Which is really, really sad. But to step off a little bit of what y'all was saying, it's like the grief, the level of grief, of constant grief that you feel. And especially, I go out here into this world every day as a black woman, and I go into a workplace with mostly non-black people, and the tension is palpable. You can feel the tension. You can tell when you walk into a room and everybody gets quiet and everybody turns around, everybody looks at you. You already know what the conversation is about. Now, this was before all of these murders started happening, but now it's just compounded. And to go out here and you want me to hold my head up every day and keep on going, I can't even grieve. I don't even have the time or space or opportunity to grieve as a black woman. We don't get that luxury. We're just supposed to just keep on getting up and keep on going and keep on ticking and keep on doing the next thing and doing the things and keep on going. When the fuck do we get a chance to heal? When do we get a chance to heal from this? When do we get a break? We do not get a break. We don't get a break.
That's why I think it's time that we do not look for their protection or their love, because we are not going to get it. Like Rashawn said off camera, Why are we trying to sit at a table that we are not welcome at? It's time to get up and go.
And make another table, go somewhere else, and make a whole other fucking restaurant. We don't even gotta eat here. Y'all food don't got no seasoning anyway.
Listen, and we already know what would happen. Turn it back on. We already know what would happen if we did, as a collective, got up and left America.
They don't want that.
Like, if we really got together and we put aside our differences, because a lot of us are not coming together because we have different beliefs or religion. And if we could just, okay, you believe in what you believe in, I believe in what I believe in, but at the end of the day, you are my brother, you are my sister. We just come together to build and go. And go. I feel like that's where we, as a people, we need to be. I also feel like conversations like this have to happen.
More often.
More often. We need to cry. We need to hug each other. We need to, when we see each other on the street, because this is definitely a Jersey, New York thing, where we see each other and we don't speak. They don't do that shit down south. Like, you walk by somebody, never seen them a day in your life, they say hi and they ask you how your day is. And they gonna look at you crazy if you don't respond and say, my day's good, how about yours? We need to normalize checking in on each other, whether we know each other or not. I see you in passing, brother, I want to know if you are okay. I want to say hello to you. In Islam, a smile is considered charity because a smile can change someone's whole entire life. There have been stories where a smile has helped someone that was on their way to commit suicide rethink that whole situation. We are our healing. We are our peace. We are our protection. When we start to look at each other like brothers and sisters, that's when we will see a change. That's when it will be true healing. We still trying to sit at this table. It ain't gonna happen. We gonna keep being in the same predicament that we are in. And I'm ready.
To somebody else's.
I'm ready to change the narrative. How about you, Serena?
Sorry. Is it working?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the one thing that I keep thinking while you were speaking is that I'm really passionate about the power of love. And, we're here to celebrate Black women, and we're talking about love. And for me, I always say that love is our greatest power. It's a catalyst for change, but so often we're afraid to use it because it feels like a weakness. It looks like a weakness sometimes. You have to be, I think love is simultaneous with like vulnerability. Like they go hand in hand. And all those things that you were saying you need to do are all love. They all show love. That checking in, that smile, that just recognizing somebody. I started I would walk to work in the morning, not anymore because I work at home, but I would make sure, that I would make eye contact with the people that I would walk by and at least try to say good morning. It didn't matter if they wanted to say it back. I felt like that was a way for me to do the little bit I could to start creating change, because while I was in that master's program, there was a professor, I don't remember her, but she looked like I don't remember her name, but I remember this one thing she said. She said, before you can change minds, you have to change hearts. And we can change all the laws that we want. People are known to break laws. They can get around the laws. We make lines, we get around them, or we just don't care, and we just cross them. And the truth is, things aren't going to change until we really start saying that this is what I want this change. And that's going to take everybody being like, start looking within themselves and learning to love themselves and learning to love others too. It's a process, like, and loving is a choice, you know, like that's, so because I work with kids sometimes right now. Miss, I can't love everybody. I just don't got enough love for everybody. And I'm like, well, number one, obviously it's a choice because now you're telling me like you can't. Like you're like, oh, sorry. But hello. Oh look, I'm back. Then so I can't love everybody, Miss Serena. I'm like, okay, well, it's a choice, number one, and number two, like, where's your source coming from? Like, you have to question, like, where are you getting your re-up from? And for me, that's God. So you have to really recognize, like...
Say that again. Where are you getting your re-up from?
Yes, where are you getting it from? I said God.
No, because I have a friend, shout out to Dupree Lee, and some people might disagree with me. Dupree Lee can look at you or look at the palm of your hand, and I know this to be true, because he read me and knew things about my childhood that I never exposed to anyone. And I said, you could be making money from this, like you could. It's a love thing. It's, you know, I'm giving you love. I'm giving you a part of me by sharing what you're going through and trying to help you go through it. But he says it drains him. So that's why he does not do it. And I'm sorry, Dupree, if I'm sharing too much of our personal conversations, but like that's why he can't do it, because it drains him. So now I gotta hit him where, well, what's your re-up? Maybe you need to get connected to the person who gave you the gift on a regular basis, and then you can speak to the people that he wanted you to speak to. I know some people don't believe in it, but I believe we have prophets that live and walk this earth today, now. And I believe that's a gift. So when you said that just hit me. And then where are you getting your re-up from? And giving love, it's a source of energy. It's the energy that you are giving out into the world where, you know, I always tell people, it was a part when I came back from Atlanta and people say, oh, that was great, you was in love. Yeah, but I was giving so much of myself and I wasn't taking care of myself. And we as women, we tend to do that a lot. And you can't give on empty. You have to, you have to take care of yourself. I'm going to use that from now on. I have to re-up. I need a couple days away from y'all. I need, like my mom takes her 4 in the morning prayers. I need my prayers. I need my meditation. I need to re-up on love so I can give you and you and you and you some love. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good. Look, I don't remember what I was going to say, but I agree. Get your re-up. If you got something from me, I'm happy. But that's my whole thing. It's like, if we're going to see change, if we're going to start changing the narrative, it starts with, it starts with love. It's the most, if you don't know what to do, that's the one thing you can do. You know what I mean? If you feel like, well, I don't know if I can like start a whole, new business. If you don't, just start there. You know, that's the easiest thing you can do.
And love is free. You don't have to pay to give somebody love. You don't have to, it's not costing you nothing to be nice to somebody. Someone had asked the question why so many, like Islam is one of the top, things where people are drawn to, religions that people are drawn to. It's one of the top, and someone had asked, like,
it's not one religion.
Yeah, like, they're not knocking on people's doors. They don't have pamphlets. It's because people are watching the way they move, their way of life. So, in anything that you want to do, I'm a strong believer in not forcing it down someone's throat saying, this is what I believe, this is what I believe. No, if you walk in that, they will see it. And they will ask, why are you so happy? Why are you always smiling? Why are you so peaceful? Because I'm giving out love. I say good morning to you every day, even though you don't say good morning back to me. That's why I'm walking around like this. So, Javier, do you want to, that you want to touch on with our Black celebration, Black women are loved, we are protected?
No, just, I'm always be one. Y'all know that. I'm always be one. I always talk about it. And right now, I'm virtually hugging all of my ladies out there. I love y'all, even when the world acts like they don't. Like, there's people out here that love y'all and that you are protected, because not for nothing, like people say, Black men ain't out here protecting women, but I know a solid 20 Black men I could call right now that light this whole shit up.
Talk about it.
With no question. Like, they wouldn't even ask me what was wrong. They would just be like, where should I pull up at? So, at the end of the day, that narrative is dead and weak. And I wish that it would just die already. Like, I really would.
Yeah, someone has said, like, don't take one incident that happened recently in the news with the fuckboy. I'm sorry. We're not gonna mention his name, but don't take that one situation and tie every Black man to that, because that is not every Black man. Like, no, we're not accepting that narrative, because we personally know for a fact.
I personally know Black men.
Yes. And that is not going down.
Like, I know these guys. I didn't hear about it. Like, I know these guys.
So we want to thank you for tuning in, for joining us tonight. If you are watching us after the fact, we want you to know that you are a Black woman, you are a Black woman, you are loved, you are protected. And my sister, if you do not believe it, I challenge you to get up every morning from this day forward. Look in the mirror and tell yourself, I am loved, I am protected. Thank you. This is Sip and Discuss. We love you. Peace.
All right, so this is my last piece, and it is called Rise, and Michelle kind of made mention of this while we were talking. It's basically about knowing that when you get up and decide to fulfill your purpose, you allow others to do the same. So, here you go. Your smile like the sun, don't underestimate its power. Your smile like the sun, they're waiting for it to rise. Your smile like the sun, don't underestimate its power. Your smile like the sun, they're waiting for it to rise. Somebody somewhere is waiting on you to rise like the orange that turns skies to blue. Somebody somewhere is waiting on you to rise like the orange that turns skies to blue. Somebody somewhere is waiting for you to rise over the ledge you wish to jump off of. They are waiting for you to rise out of the mud God claimed you out of, because you are more than the dirt you've done and the rain you've bathed in. There's a reason why you were created. Somebody somewhere is waiting on you to rise like the orange that turns skies to blue. Somebody Somebody somewhere is waiting for you to rise like the waters from storms that broke levees of your past. Rise like the waves from hurricanes, but be the eye of every storm that thundered your existence insignificant. They are waiting for you to cross your T's and ascend from ash like 3 days after you felt death. Allowing new life to give you breath to speak those things that are not as though they are. This ain't wishing on stars. This is a blind man's walk. While every step may seem like a risk, it can't keep you from purpose. Somebody somewhere is waiting for you to rise with your eyes open. Stop moping around, head down, hold your head up high, because you were meant to rise like hands towards skies that only seek to praise, rejoice in his name. Where that joy be your strength, your smile be a gift. Yet I heard you say, why they waiting on me, still trying to figure out who you're supposed to be in a world where they rain on your parade. You keep marching. Somebody is watching you stand, knowing you'd rather sit as your calves become springs for their leap, as they fight to shine through clouds that only blocked what they could see, but never stole from their ability to be sun, to be star, to be light, to bring life. Our cycle, no different than the sun. Our rise gives others permission to do the same, and somebody is waiting. Somebody somewhere is waiting on you to rise like the orange that turns skies to blue. So rise like the trees from mustard seeds, shine like the coats of pedigree. The power inside of you, inside of me, like there are two suns in the sky. We are solar power. Don't ever underestimate the reach of our rays and the strength of our shine, because we were meant to rise. As the speed of light is much faster than the speed of sound. They see you before they hear you. You will be felt. Just be yourself and rise above the surface of this earth before they flatten you out with iron thinking, telling you there's too many wrinkles in your being. Some people will be clouds. Others will be beams. Just remind them the sun is always shining, even if it isn't always seen. Your smile like the sun, don't underestimate its power. Your smile like the sun, they're waiting for it to rise. Your smile like the sun, don't underestimate its power. Your smile like the sun, they're waiting for it to rise. Somebody somewhere is waiting on you to rise like the orange that turns skies to blue. Somebody somewhere is waiting on you to rise like the orange that turns skies to blue. Thank you guys. Continue to rise in the midst of everything that's going on. You are given purpose, you have purpose on purpose. So use it purposefully.
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.